In 1956, Pastor Gilbert Dunk came down to Christchurch from Wellington to help start a new church in Christchurch, the third member of the Elim churches of New Zealand. The church ran out of rented premises, but in December of 1956 a building fund was begun. In the late 50s, a section of land on Graham's Road in Burnside was purchased for £700. On the 22nd of June 1964, the Waimairi County Council approved the proposal to build a church on the site. The church was opened and dedicated to the glory of God on July the 10th, 1965. In July 1968, the church purchased the house at 164 Graham's Road to serve as the pastor's residence, as well as an additional facility for church ministries. In 1972, space at church was becoming a concern, and plans were drawn up for adding an extension on to the existing church building. This is the current kitchen and power zone space. In May 1974, council issued the necessary building permit, but the bank declined the finance necessary. The decision was made to proceed with the extension, trusting God for the finance. Through a mixture of incredible generosity and private loans, the work was able to be chipped away at until completion in September 1975. In 1980, the pastor's house at 164 Graham's Road was sold to enable the church to purchase instead the house right next door to church at 195 Graham's Road. Instead of using the house for extra space, the plan was to remove it and make space for a new, larger auditorium. In September 1981, Sunday services were moved to Breens Intermediate, while work commenced on the new auditorium in February. Pastor Ken Legg felt a clear sense of God's leading not to borrow any finance in order to complete this project. And although the congregation was around 100 people only at the time, they gave incredibly generously to enable the building to be completed debt-free for opening in February 1983. In 1992, the property at 6 Cranbrook Ave came onto the market, and the church purchased it for the new pastors, Les and Isabel Kovic, to live in. In 1997, Pastor Les felt God calling the church to once again expand, so plans were made to add on to the south side of the building the existing Power Spark space, offices and storage spaces. This work commenced in March 1998 and was completed in just a couple of months. In the early 2000s, Pastor Graham Flett spearheaded the drive to level the auditorium floor so as to make the building more useful and accessible for other community groups and activities. On the 1st of April 2007, 68 people turned up to lift the carpets and strip the old floor back. Over the coming months, teams of volunteers worked in shifts around their daytime jobs and other responsibilities to continue the project. The revamped auditorium was opened on the 5th of May 2007, complete with new chairs, as the old ones were only useful on the old sloping floor. The church came through the 2011 Canterbury earthquakes relatively unscathed, with Pastors Andrew and Lindley Garrett moving down from Auckland to take on the pastoral role just prior to the major February 2011 shake. 2020 saw the church join together with the City and Belfast Elim congregations under a new multi-site model, becoming one church in 3 locations. The history of Burnside Elim Church leaves us today with the incredible opportunity to build upon the foundations that others have sacrificed to lay. Their legacy is our launching pad.